All right, now we're going to talk about multiplying decimals. So again, I'm going to write a problem up on the board. 3.4 times 6.2. All right, so I have my problem. Now, multiplying with decimals is actually pretty easy if you know how to multiply double digits by double digits. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write the problem. I usually put my bigger number on top. 6.2 times 3.4. Okay, now as I write my problem, I do not have to line up my decimals. That's only adding and subtracting that makes a difference. Multiplying, they just happen to line up now, but it really is not important if they line up. Actually, don't even bother trying to line them up. All right, so what I'm going to do to solve this is I'm just going to ignore the decimals. I'm going to go, you don't have to do this, but I'm just showing you. I'm just going to pretend they're not even there. Okay, I'll put them back in a little bit. Okay, so 4 times 2, 8, 4 times 6, 24. Put my 0 down there. 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 6 is 18. I'm going to go ahead and add 8. All right, so now I have this number, just like what I would get if I was doing that. All right, so now I need to kind of think about those decimals. So let's get them back in there. And you don't need to erase. This is probably the only time I'll ever do this, is just to show you that just work out the problem like they're not even there. Okay, so now I have decimals in my answer. I'm going to need to have decimals in my problem. I'm going to need to have decimals in my answer. Okay, so what I do, I got to figure out where to put my decimal. It's not just dropping it down like what we did with addition and subtraction. What I need to do is I need to look at my problem. Okay, in my problem, how many numbers did I have behind the decimal? Well, 6.2, well, the 2 is behind the decimal. 3.4, the 4 is behind the decimal. So I have 2 numbers behind the decimal. Okay, so in my answer, I also need to have 2 numbers behind the decimal. So I start at the back, 1, 2, my decimal goes there, and I have 2 numbers behind the decimal. So my answer is 21 and 8/100. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, let's do 4.62 times. Now I'm gonna change it up a little bit. This is another way to show multiplication. So if you ever just see like a dot in between 2 numbers like that, they want you to multiply. All right, 5.4. Okay, so let's go ahead. Well, I normally put the bigger number on top, but in this case, this has more digits, so I think it'd work better for me to put that on top. 4.62 times 5.4. Now you'll notice I did not line those decimals up. I don't need to. I'm multiplying. Okay, so again, I'm going to pretend those decimals aren't there. I'm just going to multiply like normal. 4 times 2, 8. 4 times 6, 24. All right, put my 0 down there. 5 times 2, 10. 5 times 6, 31. Put my 3 there. All right. Okay, now. Okay, so now I got this long string of numbers. I got to figure out where to put the decimals. So again, look up to my problem. I've got 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal. So go to the end. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 numbers behind my decimal in my answer. Okay, so that is how we multiply decimals.